All right, so let's dive into something I think we all think about at some point.
Yeah.
What really leads to success?
Yeah.
We've got a really fascinating source for this deep dive.
Okay.
It's a viral Reddit post
Okay.
from Jergit Disciplined.
Interesting.
Got everyone talking the title.
Yeah.
The real reason most people never make it.
Ooh. Dramatic.
Sounds a bit dramatic, right?
Yeah.
But it's packed with interesting points.
Okay.
And it's sparked a ton of discussion in the comments.
Interesting.
So get ready to explore some unconventional wisdom
Right.
and some compelling counterarguments as we unpack this whole persistence thing.
Yeah, it's interesting how this post just kind of throws out the typical self-help playbook and just goes straight for the jugular.
Yeah.
The author's style is bold, unapologetically blunt,
Yeah.
and even uses some, let's say, colorful language to drive home the point.
Yeah, they definitely grab your attention. They're basically saying, stop overthinking, just start doing, and keep refining as you go. They even use the phrase, being a fucking animal, to emphasize the level of dedication needed.
Wow.
I know that might sound a bit extreme,
Yeah.
but I think they're trying to shake people out of complacency and inspire them to take action.
I see.
To illustrate this point, they use some pretty compelling examples
Okay.
of people who embodied this relentless drive.
I'm interested to hear this.
Okay, so one example is Joe Rogan's podcast journey.
Okay.
He didn't just land a massive Spotify deal overnight.
Right.
He started small, just chatting with friends,
Yeah.
and consistently churned out over 2,000 episodes.
Wow.
So consistency over time can lead to incredible growth.
Absolutely.
Then there's the story of James Dyson.
Okay, the vacuum cleaner guy.
Yeah, apparently it took him over 5,000 attempts to perfect his design.
Oh my goodness.
Talk about persistence.
Wow.
This isn't just about working hard.
Right.
It's about iterating through failure. Each attempt,
Yeah.
even if it didn't yield the perfect result,
Right.
was a step closer to success.
This connects to a 2023 study by Boss et al.
Okay.
that explored the link between persistence and entrepreneurial success.
Interesting.
What's fascinating is the study found that it's not just about grit.
Okay.
It's about how entrepreneurs learn from their setbacks and keep taking small steps even when feeling stuck. They literally iterate their way to success.
And the post even throws in Mr. Beast.
Oh, the YouTube sensation.
Yeah. He spent years grinding,
Yeah.
putting out videos to a tiny audience,
Yeah.
constantly experimenting and refining his approach.
Right.
And now he's a global phenomenon.
Mr. Beast's journey really underscores the point that persistence in the digital age is often coupled with an understanding of the platform.
Right.
It's about not just creating content, but creating content that resonates with the specific audience you're trying to reach.
And then there's the classic story of Colonel Sanders. Can you believe he didn't hit it big with KFC until he was in his 60s?
Really?
After facing countless rejections.
Wow.
Colonel Sanders is a great example of how age is not a barrier to success.
Yeah.
His story flips the script on the idea that entrepreneurship is a young person's game.
Absolutely.
It also speaks to the importance of resilience, of not letting rejection deter you from pursuing your vision. So the post seems to argue that persistence is this common thread among successful people, this almost superhuman ability to keep going when others would have given up.
Yeah.
They even shared this amusing anecdote about Nike experimenting with a waffle iron to create shoe soles in the early days. They admit to having to Google what a waffle iron even is,
Really?
which I have to say is pretty relatable.
That's funny.
Like a funny little detail that makes the post feel more down to earth, even while discussing these larger-than-life success stories. But it also drives home a point. Innovation can come from the most unexpected places.
Right.
Sometimes a simple everyday object can be the key to a groundbreaking idea.
Absolutely.
But here's where things get really interesting.
Okay.
Because while the post champions this go-getter mentality,
Yeah.
the comment section offers a whole other layer to the conversation.
I see.
Many commenters push back on the idea that persistence is the sole ingredient for success, raising some important counterpoints about privilege,
Okay.
resources,
Yeah.
and the very definition of success itself.
This is where we start to see the limitations of that persistence conquers all narrative.
Yeah.
Several commenters pointed out that many people face systemic barriers
Right.
that make it nearly impossible to even get on that playing field regardless of how much they hustle.
Like one commenter pointed out that for many people, the daily grind is about survival, not chasing some big dream.
Right, and that sparked a really powerful response from someone who talked about spending 13 years just trying to escape financial hardship.
Wow.
They even argued that reaching that level of success didn't necessarily equate to happiness or fulfillment.
That definitely makes you pause and think about what we're really striving for.
It does.
Maybe success is less about external achievements
Yeah.
and more about finding meaning and purpose in what you do, regardless of the outcome.
It definitely challenges the traditional idea of making it.
Yeah,
But let's unpack that a little more in part 2 of this deep dive.
that's good.
Welcome back to our deep dive.
Yeah, it's amazing how a single post can spark such a multifaceted discussion.
Right.
We started with this image of the relentless go-getter,
Mm-hmm.
but quickly realized that the path to success is rarely that straightforward.
Exactly. And as we dig deeper into the comments,
Yeah.
we start to see how the post's emphasis on individual effort might overshadow some crucial factors, like systemic barriers
Right.
and the very definition of success itself.
One comment that really resonated with me said something like, "This whole post feels like it's written for people who already have a head start in life." What do you think about that?
That's a really insightful observation. And it highlights how the conversation about success often overlooks the role of privilege and systemic inequality. We can't talk about achievement without acknowledging how societal structures and historical injustices can create unequal playing fields.
It's like we're assuming everyone starts the race from the same starting line,
Yeah.
when in reality, some people are miles behind from the get-go.
Precisely, someone growing up in poverty, for instance, might face significant obstacles in accessing education,
Yeah.
resources and opportunities that could pave the way for traditional markers of success.
Right.
Similarly, individuals from marginalized communities
Yeah.
often encounter discrimination and prejudice that hinder their progress,
Mm.
regardless of their talent or effort.
So even if two people have the same level of drive and talent,
Yeah.
their chances of achieving those traditional markers of success
Right.
could be vastly different based on factors beyond their control.
Yes, and that's why it's crucial to consider the broader context when we talk about success. Individual effort undoubtedly plays a role,
Right.
but it doesn't operate in a vacuum.
Yeah.
Systemic barriers can create significant disadvantages that make it much more challenging for some individuals to succeed,
Right.
even with equal levels of persistence and ability.
So it's not just about telling people to pull themselves up by their bootstraps, but about recognizing that some people don't even have boots to begin with.
That's a powerful analogy.
Yeah.
And it underscores the need for systemic change alongside individual effort. We need to create a society where everyone has a fair shot at success,
Right.
regardless of their background or circumstances.
Absolutely.
But it's not just about external barriers, right?
Right.
The comment section also got into some pretty deep discussions about how we define success in the first place.
Yeah, one commenter pointed out that the post focuses on a pretty narrow range of examples,
Okay.
mostly entrepreneurs, athletes, and entertainers. It's like, are those the only paths to a fulfilling life?
That's a really important question.
Yeah.
And it brings up the idea of expanding our definition of success
Okay.
beyond those traditional markers of wealth, fame, or status.
Okay.
Maybe it's less about external validation
Yeah.
and more about living a life that aligns with our values
Right.
and brings us a sense of purpose and fulfillment.
So instead of just focusing on climbing the corporate ladder
Yeah.
or chasing after some external measure of success,
Right.
maybe it's about finding something that makes you feel truly alive, that connects you to something bigger than yourself.
Exactly. It could be about pursuing a passion,
Yeah.
contributing to your community, nurturing meaningful relationships,
Yeah.
or simply finding contentment in the simple joys of life.
Like maybe success for one person is being a dedicated teacher who makes a difference in the lives of their students,
Yeah.
even if it doesn't come with a huge salary or public recognition.
Precisely. And for someone else, it might be about starting a small business
Okay.
that aligns with their values and allows them to create a flexible lifestyle, even if it means sacrificing some potential for massive growth.
Right.
The key is defining success on your own terms, rather than subscribing to a narrow societal script.
This reminds me of another insightful comment that brought up the potential for burnout from this constant emphasis on hustling and grinding.
That's a crucial point.
Yeah.
The relentless pursuit of success, especially as defined by external measures, can take a toll on our well-being. We can get so caught up in climbing the ladder that we forget to ask if we're even on the right ladder in the first place.
Or if we're climbing it in a way that's sustainable and enjoyable.
Right.
Like, what good is reaching the top if you're completely exhausted and miserable along the way?
Exactly. Maybe success isn't about reaching some ultimate destination, but about finding joy and fulfillment in the journey itself.
I love that.
It's about taking breaks, appreciating the process, and celebrating small wins along the way.
I love that idea. It's like we need to be more mindful about how we're pursuing our goals, making sure we're not sacrificing our well-being in the process.
True success should encompass not just what we achieve, but also how we feel along the way.
Right.
It's about finding a rhythm that allows for both effort and restoration. Work and play, ambition and contentment.
Speaking of finding a rhythm, another comment brought up the idea of survivorship bias.
Okay.
Which I thought was really interesting.
Yeah, survivorship bias is this tendency to focus on the success stories while overlooking the countless individuals who might have put in similar effort but didn't achieve the same level of recognition. It's like we're only seeing the tip of the iceberg and assuming it represents the whole thing.
So it's like celebrating the Joe Rogans and Mr. Beasts of the world without acknowledging the thousands of podcasters and YouTubers who poured their hearts into their work but never gained that level of visibility.
Precisely. And this bias can lead us to believe that success is more common and attainable than it actually is. We might underestimate the role of luck timing and other factors beyond our control.
It's like if you only read about lottery winners, you might start to believe that winning the lottery is a sound financial plan.
Exactly. And that's why it's important to balance those inspiring success stories with a dose of realism. Failure is a natural part of the journey. And not everyone who works hard will achieve their desired outcome. But that doesn't mean we should give up on our dreams, right?
Definitely not. Maybe it's not about avoiding failure at all costs, but about learning from our setbacks.
All right.
Becoming more resilient in the process. And using those experiences to inform our future efforts.
And this brings us to another interesting point raised in the comments, the need for balance.
Okay.
The original post really pushed this be a beast, grind it out mentality. But some people argue that that can lead to burnout and neglect of other important areas of life.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's like, what good is achieving some grand goal if you're completely isolated, burnt out, and disconnected from the people you care about?
Right. And that's why it's crucial to find a balance between work-rest relationships and all the other elements that contribute to a fulfilling life. It's about setting boundaries, prioritizing self-care. And recognizing that saying no to certain opportunities can actually be a way of saying yes to our own well-being.
It's like you can't run a marathon without taking breaks to hydrate and refuel. You need to make sure you're taking care of yourself along the way.
And it's not just about physical well-being. It's also about nurturing our mental and emotional health, making time for activities that bring us joy, and prioritizing connections with the people we love.
So it's about finding that sweet spot where we can pursue our passions with dedication while also creating a life that feels sustainable and fulfilling in all areas.
Exactly. And I think that brings us to another important theme that emerged from the comments. The idea of defining success on our own terms. The original post seemed to focus on these traditional markers of success, wealth, fame, entrepreneurial achievement. But many people challenged that narrow definition.
It's like maybe success isn't about fitting into some predefined mold, but about carving out your own path. Even if it looks different from what everyone else is doing.
That's a great way to put it. It could be about finding fulfillment in being a loving and present parent, even if it means sacrificing career ambitions. Or it could be about pursuing a creative passion, even if it never leads to fame or fortune.
Maybe success is simply about aligning your life with your values. Finding a sense of purpose in what you do. And contributing to the world in a way that feels meaningful to you.
Exactly. And I think it takes a certain level of courage to embrace that idea. To step outside of those conventional expectations. And define success in a way that feels authentic to you.
Because ultimately it's your life.
It is.
And you get to decide what making it looks like.
Absolutely. And as we continue this deep dive, I want to invite you to reflect on your own definition of success.
Okay.
What does it mean to you to make it in life? Is it about achieving specific goals,
Yeah.
cultivating certain qualities, or making a particular impact on the world?
Take a moment to ponder these questions and see what insights emerge.
Because ultimately, your journey to success is uniquely your own.
It is.
And it's up to you to define what that journey looks like and what destinations you choose to pursue.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. It's been an incredible journey exploring success, hasn't it?
It really has. It all started with that super bold Reddit post.
About persistence.
Yeah, but we ended up going so much deeper than that.
We really did. We challenged those traditional ideas
Absolutely.
about what it takes to make it.
We learned it's not just about being a hustle monster all the time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's so much more nuanced than that.
Right. We talked about luck.
Resources, timing, self-belief.
Yeah, resilience.
It all matters.
It really does.
Yeah.
And we don't always see how much those things are at play.
Definitely. And maybe the biggest takeaway is that success isn't one size fits all.
Exactly. What truly fulfills one person could be totally different for someone else.
It's about defining success on your own terms.
Absolutely. It's about creating a life that feels right for you.
That aligns with your values and brings you purpose and joy.
Yeah, even if it looks different from what others expect.
I think that's incredibly empowering.
It is. It gives us permission to let go of those external pressures.
Right. And define our own paths.
Exactly. There is no single right way to make it. True success is about finding what works for you and pursuing it authentically.
But even with all the passion and resilience in the world, we're all going to face setbacks.
That's true.
Failure's just a part of life, isn't it?
It is. It's a part of being human, and it can be painful.
For sure.
But it's often in those failures that we learn the most.
I love that, reframing failure as a learning opportunity.
Yeah.
Like it's just a stepping stone on the path to success.
Exactly. It's about shifting our perspective and seeing setbacks as valuable feedback,
Okay.
not as some kind of defeat.
Using them to help us grow and come back stronger.
Right. And that takes courage.
Yeah.
The courage to embrace those failures.
To really learn from them.
Yeah, to keep moving forward.
And that's where having a support network makes such a difference.
Absolutely. Mentors, collaborators, friends, family.
They can all be there for us.
They can offer encouragement, guidance.
Yeah, a fresh perspective when we're feeling stuck. It reminds us we don't have to do this alone.
Exactly. Reaching out for support, asking for help, sharing our struggles.
That takes strength too.
It does.
Yeah.
And it's in those moments of vulnerability and connection that we discover our resilience and our resourcefulness.
So to everyone listening, remember this: success is a journey, not a destination.
It's about embracing those ups and downs.
Celebrating the small wins.
Yeah, learning from those setbacks.
And never stop pursuing your dreams authentically.
With passion and purpose.
And know that you have the power to define what success means for you.
Don't be afraid to create your own path.
To break the mold.
Yes, and build a life that feels truly fulfilling and meaningful.
It's been amazing exploring all this with you.
It has.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into success.
We hope it sparks some new ideas.
And inspired you to keep moving forward on your own path.
And if you enjoyed this deep dive, share it with your friends and family.
Yeah, spread the inspiration.
Spark those conversations.
Let's create a more supportive and empowering world for everyone pursuing their dreams.
And don't forget to subscribe to Voices of the Soul,
so you don't miss future episodes. We have some great deep dives planned.
We can't wait to share them.
And for even more insightful content, check out the Shauna Pelage YouTube channel.
You'll find tons of videos
on personal growth, mindfulness, and creating a life you love.
Until next time,
keep exploring.
Keep learning.
And keep defining success on your own terms.